MK8 GTI, a RacingLine MK8 GTI with essentially a PCM module, which gives it a little bit more poke, a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque, which I'll leave the details on the screen about that. This car's had a few little mods on it, so lowered suspension, carbon fibre bits on the outside, Miltech exhaust, R600 RacingLine intake, a few potential bits to come as well. Let's see what it's like. But I'm here with the owner today. We've done a full ownership review on the GTI, which I'll leave that in the description, as well as other videos I've done with this owner before. Subscribe to my channel, met up about 10 months ago. Talking just purely now about the whole RacingLine, the tune. I can tell you just from driving this, I love the way it's kind of mapped to the car. It feels like OEM plus that kind of level. The linearity with the way it goes up through the gears, gearbox feels really, really smooth. I've driven club sports and it feels as fast as a club sport, which makes sense, up to 300 horsepower. How have you found it? How do you kind of find yourself driving it? Do you find yourself sort of like revving it out a lot, or do you like use the torque?
Oh yeah, I definitely do rev it out.
Yeah, it sounds good with the build tech as well.
I'll rev it, turn it on for you.
Yeah, which will just be RacingLine MK8. It's so nice at the front.
And the kids love that.
And you got obviously the pulsating. Oh, that's so. Oh, and yeah, we saw the. That's so cool.
I let my little boy rev it. I rev it out, and I like to open the taps on it, and you know, I go, you know, it just seems to fly more than when it was just a stock.
Yeah.
GTI with the PCM module. When that was put on and I took it for its first drive, and I'm like, wow. And that is literally just a plug and play, so someone has literally just put that on top of your battery. There's no sort of like changes of your ECU at all? No, there's nothing. It's quite literally, I've put the air, so I've had the RacingLine air intake, the RacingLine turbo muffler delete,
which I'm sure I heard. Yeah, I can hear different noises coming through the front.
and then I put the PCM module on as well. When I got into my GTI, other than buying a GTI, I hadn't got a clue what I could do with it. And then I kind of found RacingLine, and then I was like, and I just, you know, they release new bits every sort of few months, and I'm like, I could see, I think I could go with that. So I just keep buying bits every so often. The PCM module just has exploded this car.
It's so good. We'll experience it a little bit more here as well. But yeah, I'd definitely, again, straight away, if you're going to do anything to your car, you've got to make sure you go to the right people. And just from like checking like on RacingLine's website, checking within the whole car community, particularly with Golf, GTIs, Golf Rs, everyone speaks so highly of RacingLine. And I think it is a case of, in some ways, you pay for what you get, I think, as well. They're proper premium, really, really nice. You mentioned you can get like the R600 with carbon. And that looks great, just dresses up the engine a bit.
It does.
More.
I mean, they do all the engine dressing bits, which I'll at some point buy.
Like
the little
the
oil caps,
fuel filler cap as well. I want to get the fuel filler cap. My plastic one is just.
So they do, and it really is really quite just nice. You can tell it's a quality. It's a quality product. You know, and it is just that sort of OEM plus.
I genuinely, when you first pulled up, I was like, there's a few little changes, but really subtle, and you wouldn't be like, oh, that's too much. It just feels like it's just maybe almost what the GTI probably should have been in some ways. That's kind of how they think. But I love the whole ethos of it, because it's very much a company that actually was brought out of VW in the late 90s, and then it came and it owned privately, and it feels like the route I would go down if I was ever to kind of.
And we were talking about tyres earlier, and I never scrimp on stuff, and there's absolutely loads of different bolts on stuff that you can buy for a GTI for cars, and I think for me RacingLine seems it's a really quality product. Whatever they produce, it seems to do the job it's designed for.
Really, it does really well, and I think everyone's trying to get on that bandwagon of producing stuff because they know obviously there's a market for it. But I would go for the company that knows it the best and has been in the game for the longest. You know, that's where I'd feel safest for me, particularly when, you know, you've got a £30,000 car or £35,000 car, whatever it is. You don't want to be putting on something which is going to cause any problems that hasn't been tried and tested. And this is really blended in nicely, and particularly it's at the right sort of power band where the gearbox doesn't feel like it's being overworked. You know, it just feels like it's really smooth and puts its power down. We've not lost traction. We've been driving around for well over an hour, which thank you so much for allowing me the time in the to be able to kind of share this.
When they do finally release a tune, RacingLine, I think
you're the one to go for.
Well, I get it. So basically one of the deal they did with the PCM when it first came out was that you buy that and then you can have the tune afterwards when they finally release it.
But what? Okay, that is.
Yeah, so you have to register your power control module when you get it with them, and you're required to enter your serial number. And mine is number 11.
Oh wow! Oh, I love how they do that. So for reference, the reason why they do the PCM module was because there was no tune available. The engines were locked, the ECU was locked. So this was sort of like a great workaround. If you technically just wanted to stick with the PCM plug and play module, put it on, take it off, there is technically nothing that a car can tell that it's been changed.
No.
Like you could get your data logger in and it would be stock. So if that is your kind of thing, which actually does sound quite appealing to be honest with you, in terms of how you can just sort of, you can do that, you can then just sell the car stock and just be like, done with it. That is quite a cool thing to have, but obviously we're waiting around to see what happens in the future with the actual tunes. And I think a lot of them have brought some out quite early. It takes a bit of time to kind of learn it, and I can imagine RacingLine will probably take a little bit longer because they want to get it right.
Yeah,
and that's what I think.
They've just got a nice look about them as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and
it's nice little the logo and stuff as well.
It is. It's a fantastic.
They've nailed it with that. Yeah. Any issues since you've gone to for the race? Yeah, the RacingLine tune. Like, have you noticed anything different in the way the car behaves, or?
It behaves better, I will say that. I've got nothing detrimental to say about the RacingLine products, or even the GTI as a package. Yeah. You know,
and you're the best person to say that because you've put your money in to all this. You know, none of us. You know, we're not paid by VW, we're not paid by GTI, we're not paid by RacingLine. This is just generally, I want to help people who are looking, and we can recommend it. So
oh gosh,
How many miles have you done on the RacingLine, would you say?
I reckon possibly about 10,000.
Oh really? So you've had 10,000 stock, 10,000. So that's perfect. 20,000 miles. You literally.
It's probably a half and half. And yeah, it just makes it. It just makes it what the GTI I think should be.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were saying. It's like they obviously. VW basically make it so that it's set in a line so that it's less than a Club Sport, it's less than an R, it gives them room to put in like an addition. It's marketing speak.
It is, yeah.
So they know that, and to be fair, a lot of the competition are closer to 300 than what this was stocked, or 250. This is now right up there with all that you would need. All that you'd need. I'm sold.
At the time, I couldn't afford the 40 odd grand for an R. I couldn't, I couldn't afford the Club Sport.
That's the thing.
I prefer the front end. So I like the fog lights on the GTI.
Oh, they look so good.
Which you don't get on the Club Sport or the R.
And I'd say just quickly check out in the description, because we've got videos we've gone around this car as well. The front lights, for people watching, you know, you think, don't spend so long thinking, you know, oh, what car to get, and whether you really want to kind of push on and do things like do stuff with RacingLine or not. You know, GTIs, you can't go wrong, and if you do want to do something, I'd say this is the right way to go about it. Those R600 intakes are on everything. I see every time I go to a car show or VW thing, it's like, oh yeah, I've got the R600 here, I've got the R600. They're always hard to come by as well. I mean, so the carbon one, I imagine, was possibly sold out, maybe, or
they hadn't released it at the time.
Oh, okay.
When I brought a lot of this stuff for this car, it's only just been released.
So you've just been doing it month as it comes out.
Yeah, so at the time it was just the normal 600 Evo plastic.
Which in fairness, the carbon, it doesn't add anything to the performance, but it's
just
aesthetic.
nice.
It's aesthetic, it's a good noise. And the thing is as well, you've obviously got the Miltech, so you've got a little bit different, little bit more noise, which sounds really, really good from the outside as well. So it's not just speaker sound you're hearing; it's general real stuff.
Yeah,
and it all integrates together, doesn't it? You've got the R600 with the bit of the tune, which will obviously get things a little bit more warmer with your Miltech cap back.
Yeah,
I love what you've done with it, man. I really, really do.
It's all very subtle. So I've done carbon fibre.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go for just carbon fibre look, so I went for the proper true carbon stuff. This is not like fake stuff. This is real. And actually, they do stuff. VW sometimes for editions now. I actually think with the new 20th edition for the Golf R, some of the stuff they've added is real carbon inside. Yeah. But you're paying such a heavy premium for that, a crazy premium, when you can get VW are only getting them from the same places you're probably getting them from. Third gear for me is a lovely gear because it's like you've still got the low end, you're within the limits. You just absolutely
no issues with traction, proper greasy, proper slippery.
Yeah.
And it does it. It's really, really nice in manual mode. Got obviously the paddle extensions to make things easier.
And the best bit is as well, I mean, so I don't do very many miles. It's mainly just like tootling around where I live in Shifnor, with the occasional long journey, and so I don't get very great miles per gallon because it's short little journeys. But on the way down here, I noticed I got 20 long term, just under 30 miles per gallon.
That's for the short journeys you do. And I can imagine if you were to have done a long commute and stuff in this, and I know these engines inside and out, this can get mid-40s
easily. When I'm doing, even with the RacingLine power control module,
hasn't really affected it really.
No, I'm still getting into the 40s. When I do a long journey.
That's really good. There is literally no real compromise at all.
No. Well, I fueled this just before we met, quite literally a few hundred yards. And if you click for you,
it's 400 miles.
If you click for you there, that'll move over to the next screen, which should
42.2.
That's since refueling.
And that's since us having a little bit of fun and then also chilling. That's really good.
So it's just fun.
So if you're thinking there's any compromises, there's really not. The benefits are the fact that you've got that punch.
Yeah.
Like gearbox was really great going down. So second gear, wait a little bit. Okay, so that's the first time we lost traction in second, and it is slippery out and it's cold. We're sort of basically start of November basically.
This car always brings a smile to my face.
It's a huge smile factor, and it's been made more happier with the RacingLine module.